it, so give us just a second for that to officially launch. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday afternoon. It is June 10th, 2020. We are very excited to have you with us today. My name is Heather Cox. I'm a modern workplace specialist here at Microsoft, and with me is my co-host.
Hi, I'm Victoria Dean, and I'm a modern work technical specialist here at Microsoft.
And we are so excited about our presentation today. We have the team from Hyro, and they are going to give us an overview of how, sorry, I have a child jumping up here. And so I am going to go ahead with that and turn it over to them, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Heather. Can you see my beautiful slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm super excited to be here today and share some of the success we've had with Microsoft Teams and Walker Medicine. I love this community, and I am going to miss David, but he left it in the best hands possible. And I can't believe I didn't prepare a cool background, Heather, so I apologize. So first of all, my name is Michael Blumenthal. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Hyro, and I have the pleasure of presenting with the wonderful Andrew. Andrew, you want to introduce yourself?
I was not able to hear Andrew. It looked like he came off of mute, but then back on mute, maybe.
Andrew, are you with us?
I think the mic is not working for Andrew.
Yeah,
but I like the enthusiasm, Andrew. It's good.
So I'll keep going until he fixes his microphone, and I'll tell you that Andrew is a product manager in charge of patient engagement at Walker Medicine, and he's being the project manager who was leading this project from the ideation all the way to execution. We went live yesterday, and so we're super excited to tell you what we've been doing there. And the topic for today is how Walker Medicine transforms patient engagement by introducing a chatbot to their website that interacts with their patients, and then leveraging Microsoft Teams in order to be able to transfer the conversation from the chatbot to a live agent. And that's how we did adaptive communication. So the way we were planning on spending our time today is we'll start with a background on Walker Medicine and Hyro and some of the challenges that we were looking to solve with this solution. And then we'll dive into the solution itself, starting with the technology that powers it, adaptive communications and conversational AI. And then in terms of the solution review, we'll start with the conversational AI assistant or the chatbot. And then we'll talk about how it's integrated into live chat with using Microsoft Teams. We'll do a quick demo because it's always good to visualize things. And then we'll jump into a Q&A session. Andrew, are you able to use the microphone?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Can't hear me?
Yes, we can.
You can't hear me?
We can. Go ahead.
We can hear you, Andrew. Oh, now we can't.
Oh,
but we could when you before. Now we can't, unfortunately.
Andrew, we could hear you before.
Michael, I think that he left to try to rejoin the meeting, so I'm not sure if you want to.
No problem. I hope I'll do a good enough job introducing Weill Cornell Medicine instead of Andrew. But for those of you who are not familiar, Weill Cornell Medicine is an academic medical center. They have about 50 locations in New York, more than 1,600 doctors. They do 3 million annual appointments or of patients' visits a year. And I hope that once Andrew rejoins, he can tell you a little bit more about the academic medical center. In the meantime, I'll tell you about Hyro. So we're an innovative startup on the bleeding edge of conversational AI technologies. And we're backed by top VCs and Twilio with a strong team of natural language understanding experts, computational linguistics PhDs, and a few engineers from Google Duplex. And if we try to condense what we're doing into one sentence, it's really all about simplifying digital interactions by enabling organizations to deploy conversational AI interfaces at scale. And that's true across all digital touchpoints. So whether it's a chatbot for the website, a voice assistant for the call center, or any type of automated communication via text, so SMS, email, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and to talk about specifically the website chatbot and how we've integrated it in Microsoft Teams to enable live chat through it. But we're also working on an integration for the voice assistant for the contact center that will be able to transfer the call itself to the agent, capturing all the data that we collected throughout the call. Wild Canal Medicine, they were our first customer. We're very lucky to work with them 3 years ago already today. Since then, we've had the pleasure of working with a bunch of other great organizations across the country, improving the communications with their end users, whether it's with their patients, customers, and even their employees. Do we have Andrew back?
He is back, but we can't hear him still.
Yep, still no sound.
No sound still?
Oh, wait, yes,
Really?
sound.
Oh,
Yes,
There
there
we
you are.
go.
Don't change anything.
Had to put some headphones on. Sorry about that. Okay. So I'll talk about some of the challenges that our organization has been facing. Across some of our departments, our call center agents have been getting more calls than they can handle. We have high wait times and high call abandonment rates in some cases. Historically, we have low engagement in some of our digital platforms. We have a patient portal where patients can sign up for an account, schedule follow-ups, see their test results, and more. Many of our patients historically have not signed up for accounts and end up calling us for things that they can actually access within the portal. And we have a lot of information about our portal features and even more broadly about the healthcare services that we provide publicly available on our website that we end up getting calls for as well. For these reasons, we decided to work with Hyro to help us introduce a conversational AI assistant on our website that can help our patients and families.
So starting to talk about the solution, I'll start with the technology behind it, and I'll start with the conversational AI interface, so the chatbot, and then I'll hand it over to Andrew to talk about the live chat integration via Teams. So conversational AI is a set of technologies that enables humans to interact with machines, whether it's via using a voice assistant or via text using a chatbot or a chat assistant. Now, I always like to spend a minute on what conversational AI is not. So it's not these IVR systems that when you call the call center, they only have a guided flow. So for this, click 1, for this, dial 2. And it's not those chatbots that I affectionately call a dumb bot, where you go on a website and you only have a predefined set of buttons. And those solutions don't allow for a real conversation, right? It's just a minimized version of the website. It's not really conversational. Conversational AI is the solutions more in the lines of Alexa, Google Home, Siri, that actually allows for a conversation. So that's the space that Hyro is in. And if you allow me to geek out about our technology, so 60 seconds on how we're innovating this space. Oh, I clicked on the wrong place. Can you still see my screen with the groovy animation on the right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So most solutions in the conversational AI space are built around something called predefined intent. And intent is a goal the bot needs to accomplish. For example, when you ask Alexa, what's the weather like today? That's a weather query intent. And it's the same as asking, how hot will it be and should I wear a sweater? So when an organization wants to introduce a conversational interface, they have to start by making a list of all the intents that they want to support. And then they have to provide thousands of training data in order to train the AI to recognize that intent. So training data is similar ways of asking the same question. And that's why this process is usually super long and expensive and not so scalable, because if you've introduced one intent, Training on a new intent will mean that you'll have to go through the process from scratch. So how we're innovating in this space is that we actually don't module intents. We module the language itself. So we apply. Sorry? Oh, I think someone just turned off his mic by accident. So we don't module intents. What we do is we module the language itself. We apply something called computational linguistics, and we teach the AI how to speak. So we teach it all the different language rules, like how to identify the location of the verb in a sentence, how to understand what are the nouns and what are the relationships between them. So this means that we can get to very high quality of conversation from the first day because we don't have to go through this training process. Think about a child that you teach how to speak. So after they know how to speak, in order to answer questions about pianos or doors, you don't have to teach them how to speak from scratch, like in the intent-based approach. You just have to give them the relevant knowledge. And that's our approach. It's a knowledge-based approach. And the groovy animation you see here on the right, it's a data structure called a knowledge graph that we build out of our existing customers' data sources. So that's how we're able to deploy very quickly. And this technology is what powers our adaptive communication platform. And then very sophisticated conversational interfaces that we can deploy in a matter of days instead of months with great simplicity and high scalability. So if I summarize what adaptive communication is allowing to communicate with end users across all different touch points, adapting to the end users and the organizations, changing needs, data, and policies. So that's the technology. Let's jump to the solution that we built together with Weill Cornell Medicine and Microsoft Teams. So what we did is we tap into Weill Cornell's existing data sources, starting with the website itself, because the website already have so much information in it. So we started by automatically scraping all the information they had about the doctors, all the different attributes like their name, their specialty, their picture, location, the languages that they speak, and so on. Then we moved on to use their APIs, the APIs that Weill Cornell exposes on their website. And we also tapped into external databases to enrich the conversation. So one of the cool capabilities we have is to use external data sources and add them into the knowledge graph to enrich the conversation. A fun example was when we realized that patients don't always know the specialty that they need. So they said the symptom instead of giving us the specialty. And so what we did is we scraped Wikipedia and we added a layer of mapping between symptoms and specialties into the knowledge graph. And then when patients are asking about symptoms, we just tell them, oh, for this symptom, consider these specialties. And we're able to guide them back into finding the most relevant doctor. So we scraped all those different data sources, we translated them into the knowledge graph, and then anything that's available in the knowledge graph is now queryable using natural language. So then we introduced the chatbot on the Weill website. It was literally 2 minutes of work from their web development team because it's just geeking out again. It's just inserting a JavaScript snippet on their page HTML, and that's it. We started conversing with patients and also to generate insights from the conversations, because one of the greatest benefits of conversational AI or introducing a conversational interface with your end users is that you get to learn a lot about them. What are they asking? How are they asking it? What do they care about? And so we're able to generate actionable insights from the conversations. In terms of the content or what the bot is covering, we're helping patients find a doctor, schedule appointments, navigate through the website. We're helping with symptom navigation. And very importantly, throughout the past year, we've been helping with COVID-19 information. Another fun thing we did there is we actually scraped the CDC FAQ page. So one day after we understood that patients are starting to ask about COVID-19, we scraped the CDC FAQ page that had hundreds of questions about COVID-19, and immediately we were able to answer all those different questions. We also help with MyChart issues, troubleshooting issues, and other type of frequently asked questions. So a few words about the huge impact we've seen. For the past year, we've had more than 66,000 conversations with Weill Cornell Medicine's patients. More than 100,000 messages were sent by the patients, and that includes more than 19,000 patients that were looking to schedule an appointment, more than 26,000 that actually continued from the bot to the website to complete different actions, and more than 6,000 COVID questions that we were able to answer. So just sharing two of my favorite analytic reports that we were able to build thanks to the information from the conversation. So the first one is, how do patients look for a physician? What type of attributes do they mention in their search? So we can see how many of them are actually specifying a specialty, searching by the physician, using the physician's name, mentioning expertise, insurance plan, and so on. And this is super valuable information for the marketing team. The second one I want to show you is how we're able to identify trends using keywords from the conversation. So I like this one on the right that highlights the uptick in conversations about telemedicine and virtual appointments, obviously, as soon as COVID started. So that's what we did with the virtual assistant or the chatbot, and I'll hand it over to Andrew to tell you a little bit about where we took this to with the live chat interface with Microsoft Teams.
Thanks, Michael. So more recently, we've been working with Hyro to tackle the problem of getting our patients access to care. After monitoring our usage of the chatbot, we learned that 24% of scheduling requests couldn't be completed by the virtual assistant, mostly because the doctors the patients wanted to schedule with were not offering online scheduling or didn't have availability. After speaking with our call centers more, we also learned that 60% of their phone calls are for appointment scheduling. So we wanted to find another avenue for patients in our call centers to have these conversations digitally and conveniently, so that our agents are able to have more than one conversation at a time and in a way that wouldn't stress them out. To achieve this, we needed an application that was familiar to our agents. We knew that they already use 4 different applications daily for communication, and that 100% of the call center staff already use Teams daily. For these reasons, Well Canal Medicine joined forces with Microsoft Teams to enable handoff between this AI-powered assistance and live agents. So the conversation starts with the AI-powered assistant. The assistant greets the patient and asks them how they can help. A patient types or speaks naturally what they need help with. As the conversation progresses, there are scenarios that trigger a handoff to an agent. We started with patients looking for primary care doctors, and in the future, we plan to expand the scope of live agent chat to more scenarios. Once triggered, the call center agent takes over the conversation using Hyro's app on Teams.
So this is just a glimpse into how the interface looks like on the Microsoft Teams app. And let's check out a full demo. And please stop me if you don't hear the audio, okay?
Hi there, Sherry from Hyro here, and I'm excited to show you an example of how live chat works together with our conversational AI assistant on Weill Cornell Medicine's website. This bot can help patients find a doctor, schedule appointments, navigate the website, and help answer frequently asked questions. We're now able to support transferring the conversation to a live chat agent to assist with scheduling in Microsoft Teams. So let's get started. On the right side, we have Weill Cornell's website, and on the left, we have the live agent interface in Microsoft Teams. I will show a conversation that starts with a chatbot and then transfers to the live agent. Users will see the bot on the bottom right-hand corner of the page. When you open the bot, there are a few options you can interact with. You can either click on one of the suggestion buttons, you can type in your question down here below, or you can even use the mic button to speak to it using your voice. Let's do a few examples. I'm looking for a PCP who speaks Spanish, and I prefer a female doctor.
I found 3 doctors, female, primary care, and Spanish.
When you speak to the bot using voice, it also replies back using voice. So you can have an end-to-end conversation just using your voice. This is a great example because it's such a complicated query. I'm using 3 different attributes in my search. I'm saying PCP instead of saying primary care, and the bot is still able to understand and show me the most relevant results. Now, the bot also has memory and context, so I can continue my search. Let's do, I actually prefer a male doctor. So it's comprehending that I can even change my mind, and it will understand that I'm replacing the gender attribute while keeping the other 2 attributes in place. From here, I can check out the carousel view, the list view, or the map view. All of this is done with 0 work from the Weill Cornell side, as we're leveraging the publicly available information on their website. So it's a plug and play setup that we can put together in just a few days. I can check out the doctor's page, I can book online, or I can schedule an appointment via chat. And this will initiate the transfer to the live agent in Microsoft Teams to schedule my appointment. All I need to do after I agree to the terms and conditions is provide my name and my phone number. And then it connects me straight to an agent in the Hyro app of the Microsoft Teams. Now in Microsoft Teams, this is what the live agent sees. We have the Hyro app on the left-hand side, and the agent now has a direct channel to chat with the patient. I can accept the chat through the Hyro app where I have all my conversations in one place with the history of the chat, previous conversations, and new incoming messages. It can have conversations with patients to help them schedule appointments. That's it. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
So just to follow up on that, this is a game changer for scheduling in healthcare, right? So not only are we able to help the patient find the most relevant doctor using via a conversation, we're able to help them guide into what's the best way to schedule with that doctor without ever getting into the call center, right? So if the doctor has online scheduling available, we'll just take them to schedule via the bot or via the website. If they don't, we offer a live chat with one of the agents, and they can help them schedule without ever calling into the call center. And Microsoft Teams has been the perfect solution for that because it has such a great presence in healthcare, and it's the interface that the agents were used to. So they didn't need to go through training for any other platforms. Oh, how are we with times? I think that we are actually even ahead of time. Wow,
Yeah.
good for us.
Yeah, you guys are, yeah, you're good.
Thank you. So we can open it up for questions.
Please feel free to come off of mute, raise your hand. Nobody? You got any questions? What I love about it, I'm going to come on video, but like I said, a child has joined me. I think she was so fascinated. She saw the screen. She was like, I need to see this. And so she's hanging out for just a little bit. But what I really loved seeing about it is I personally do not cover a lot of, academical medical centers. My accounts do not typically fall into the healthcare space. So I love being able to see what's being done in that space. But I also think that there is a lot that can transfer in terms of the bots and the way that's used into, regular, just typical education scenarios at all times. So I really enjoyed seeing all of that. Anybody else have questions or?
It looks like we got a question, two questions, one from Walter. He said, do you work specifically with healthcare providers?
No, so our technology is pretty much vertical agnostic. We're happy to support other verticals as well. Healthcare is definitely a focus, but we've been working with other verticals in parallel. And I think you're right, Heather. It could be a great use case for admins.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A second question we have: did it encourage some doctors to add virtual scheduling?
Oh, that's for you, Andrew.
Yeah, so we have a large initiative right now at our company, just as New York City has kind of come back to in-person care in general. So there's a lot of that underway currently at our company. There are a lot of our departments that are interested in this feature now because they're trying to get more and more patients to actually come back for care. So it is a good complementary feature, I would say, to online scheduling. So both of those things are really starting to ramp up a lot at our organization.
That's fantastic. Any other questions? Anybody else want to come off of mute? No? Dropping anything in the chat?
I'm curious, I guess, from the crowd, what are some other use cases, that potentially went off while this conversation was going on? Might give some others ideas of how to use this technology.
Yeah, when you mentioned earlier with like admin, office hours, there you go. Yeah, definitely with scheduling some office hours. Having just individuals that are new to the platform in general. Because when you think about like any kind of chatbot or support system, whether it's new teachers or, substitutes or whatever it might be in an academic setting, there's lots of different ways that you could probably spin that, which is interesting. So yeah, onboarding for sure. And then Andrew, there's a request so that somebody can follow up with you afterwards. Hopefully that's okay with you. If you guys want to, if you are okay with sharing your contact information and you're able to see the chat, you can drop that in there. Otherwise, we can share that with them directly. But thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for pushing through the sound issues. Andrew, we love the perseverance there. Thank you so much for that. We're very happy to have had you on with us today. Dear Office Hours community, just wanted to let you know that we will be taking a very small break to allow everybody to relax over the summertime here for a bit and for us to kind of regroup as we mourn the loss of our dear Dave Perlman and his new career, and kind of figure out some new things that we might infuse into office hours. I don't plan to infuse toddlers on a regular basis. This is a one-time thing, hopefully. But again, thank you everybody for joining us today. We will be off, like I said, next week. We'll let you guys know when we will be back. I'll go ahead and stop today's recording.